Hiya everybody, welcome back to my channel and another main meals of the week video. So it's Monday today and we're having meatballs with mashed potato and vegetables. So I'm just mashing the butter in to make the mashed potato now. I do like quite buttery mash, so I put quite a large amount of butter in this. So I'm just sharing the portions out. Hannah's not the biggest fan of mashed potato, but she will eat it when it's the only option, basically. She'd much rather have roast potatoes or something like that. So we have a good load of mashed potato, because this is basically the bulk of our dinner. And then we all absolutely love broccoli, and obviously we get more out of it now that I use the stems as well. So got lots of the broccoli florets and then the stem. And this is the meatballs, so the girls don't like the thought of their meatball sauce running into their potatoes and the vegetables, which I actually thought was really tasty. The taste of the tomato flavour with the mashed potato I thought was really delicious. So I've done theirs separately. So we've got some Tesco Finest mini meatballs, which I made my own tomato sauce using tin tomatoes and, you know, herbs and spices and things, which was really tasty. This is the pudding that Simon and the girls have got. We don't usually have pudding, but this is a hot chocolate fudge cake, which I've had in the freezer for weeks and weeks, forgetting that we've got it. So I thought that it's about time that they have that. So I think they very much enjoyed that. And I had some rice pudding, I think, instead, which I haven't shown. Delicious, look at that. Tuesday, we did some mini toad in the hole. So basically I just cooked some sausages, our favourite Tesco Finest pork sausages, cut them in half, and then put each half in my silicone muffin tin tray. And then I've got gluten-free batter mix there that I made with corn flour, and I just fill each one up. I am considering having a go at making some like stuffing. I've made stuffing ones before, but like mix the loose stuffing in with the batter mix just to see how that comes out, because I feel like that would be delicious. Then we could have like toad in the hole stuffing Yorkshire puddings. So just fill all of those up. I had some spare, so we had some pancakes as well. Just cooking the veg. So we've got sprouts there, there's broccoli, there's carrots. First time I've had sprouts in a lot of months, and they were very, very tasty. I need to do something about those saucepan lids though, because they get really hot because they're metal. It's not ideal really, is it? That's what the mini toad in the holes look like when they come out. They come out really well this time actually. I'm really happy with how they came out. They look very delicious, and we had 3 each. Just cooking the roast potatoes to have with it. So I've got mixed herbs I put on the top of those. And then I also like to put garlic salt on my roast potatoes. I just feel like it's really delicious and tasty. You can just put garlic granules, but I feel like the salt gives it a little bit of extra flavour as well. Just dishing them all up now. So I've dished up the vegetables and the mini toad in the holes, and just popping on the roast potatoes. Much more difficult to cook this many in one go. They just take forever. The less you cook, the better they cook, I find. But if you know me, you know how much I love a potato. So I'm not going to turn down loads of roast potatoes, especially with garlic and herb ones, because they're my favourite. Now, Rebecca's dinner isn't in the picture here, only because she doesn't have roast potatoes on hers. She only has mashed potato. Simon's got a little tiny bit of mash there because there was too much, basically. We've got a couple of less roast potatoes and a little bit of mash as well. Oh, and those honey parsnips. So this is the first time I did it. I think next time I will put a little bit of salt and pepper on the parsnips as well, and then put honey on the top, because there wasn't tons of flavour, but they did work and they came out really nicely, apart from I think I could do with a little bit of seasoning on them. There we go. Wednesday was cauliflower cheese with some chips. So Hannah's not a fan of cauliflower cheese. So she's just got some plain cauliflower, quite a few chicken nuggets, and she'll have some chips and a little bit of sliced cheese. So that will do her. She's quite happy with that. Rebecca's going to have cauliflower cheese, but I've just done her a couple of nuggets as well, just because Hannah's having some, not as many as Hannah, but there we go. And that cauliflower cheese is delicious. I was recommended a little while ago to pop some mustard in with it, which I don't usually do that in my cheese sauce, but it definitely brings out the flavour. Just say like a teaspoon of mustard, and it was really nice. And salt and pepper. I usually just like a strong cheese flavour, but the addition of some seasoning is very tasty too. This is mine and Simon's dinner. Got some chips. These are just the Hearty Food steak cut, I think they are. Hearty Food, basically the cheaper chips that I just really love having them with cauliflower cheese. I'm not sure what it is. And lots of salt and vinegar with them as well. The one at the back is Simon's and the one at the front is mine. There we go. I also really love the slightly burnt bits of cheese. They're absolutely delicious. Just love them. Nice crunchy little bits that you get in there, a bit of extra texture. So for Thursday's dinner, we were having some chicken enchiladas. Me and Simon and Rebecca. Hannah's not a fan of enchiladas. So I'm just cutting up a yellow pepper and a red pepper here. So I'm doing it a little bit like we do fajitas. So Rebecca doesn't particularly like to cook cooked peppers. So what I do is I chop them all up and put some to one side in a bowl, sort of cut up ready. So Rebecca can just have some raw pepper. I mean, Simon will have the cooked pepper with the onion, because Rebecca's also not a fan of cooked or onion in general. So I've got 2 small brown onions because me and Simon really do like onions in ours. So this is the ones that I'm actually frying. Just pop them in a little pan with a little bit of olive oil just so they can slowly cook and slowly soften really. So I don't want them to be like extra fried or anything. Just give them a little mix through and turn them down as low as I can. Then I'm going to cut up the chicken. So I'm just doing 3 chicken breasts because there are 3 of us. And they're not the biggest chicken breasts, and I always cut quite a lot off. Any yucky bits basically that I cut away. So doing that for the 3 of us and just cutting them into little chunks really. I think you're supposed to cut them into slices, but it doesn't really matter too much. And then fry those in a bit of olive oil. And I'm going to cook those until they're nice and white all the way through, so we don't want any pink bits. Quite often I just chop a piece in half whilst I'm cooking just to make sure. So I've popped in some frozen garlic there, just to mix in, get the flavours in there. And we've got a bit of salt and pepper going on just to season the chicken. Once that's done, I'm going to start popping in some herbs and spices and things. So we've got ground coriander. I'm just making this up really, to be honest with you. I don't think you're supposed to have coriander in it, but I did. Next thing I'm going to put in is some passata. Pretty sure I should have put all the herbs and spices in first before I put the tomato passata in, but never mind. It's not the end of the world, and it tasted delicious in the end anyway. I'm going to stir that through, coat all of the chicken. I'm going to add in some frozen sweet corn. I would leave this till the end, but because it's frozen, it needs to defrost a little bit. So I'm going to pop that in now. And then we've got some smoked paprika. I put about a teaspoon of that in. And then also a teaspoon of oregano. Maybe a little bit more. And then also, you can't see that because it's blurry, I'm afraid, but that's mild chili powder. So also got about a teaspoon of that. Just give that a really good stir. I totally made that up, but it tasted really nice. So Rebecca even said it was the nicest ones that she's had. So we've got a tablespoon of caster sugar there just to counteract the acidity of the tomatoes. Give that a nice stir through, heat up. So I put a little tiny bit in the bottom of our glass Pyrex dishes just to stop anything from sticking to the bottom. Not that it should stick, but yeah, this is one of my gluten-free ones that I'm making up. So I basically layering it up. You're supposed to mix it all in together, I think, but I'm kind of trying to make it into sort of burrito style just for ease, really. So we've got 3 in each, and that means I can separate Rebecca's and not put onion and peppers in hers. So we finish it off on the top with cheese. So we've got the chicken and the sauce. We've got onions and peppers for me and Simon, and then a bit of cheese on the top. There we go. And I think I wrap these a little bit like burritos. I'm not sure if that is how you're supposed to do it, but that's how I'm doing it this time. That's how it seems to be working out. My gluten-free wraps didn't want to wrap very well because they are made of different stuff. So they just kept tearing. So yeah, I just did it the best I could, really. But Simon's at the front there and Rebecca's at the back there. I've done mine first just because I didn't want to put my wraps down on the same surface otherwise as everybody else's because of cross-contamination. Obviously I'm a celiac and I can't share things basically with everybody else. So we're all having 3 each, and these were surprisingly filling. I didn't know whether this was going to be filling enough, just 3 of these for dinner, and it absolutely definitely was. Plenty of dinner. They're so quick and easy to make as well. Just a nice simple dinner, and yeah, not the easiest to eat, a little bit messy, but there we go, topped up with a bit of cheese. I would have topped it with a bit of sauce, but I didn't have any left, so that's what I ended up with. Yeah, but they were very, very tasty indeed. So Friday this week was our tea day, and we just sort of had sausage rolls. Now I tried to get hold of some in Marks and Spencer's, some gluten-free ones, but I couldn't find any. We tried them a couple of different occasions, so I ended up managing to get some from one from Sainsbury's for me. So Simon had a couple of these Tesco pork sausage rolls, and I've just popped them in the air fryer. They're already cooked, so I just need to pop them in and just heat them up. I could do that in the microwave, I could do it in the oven, but they're a little bit quicker in the air fryer and they don't go crispy in the microwave. So I just put them on 200 degrees for 4 to 5 minutes. And they go lovely and crispy once they're done. Then I'm doing these for the girls. So they're having little cocktail sausage rolls. And I've done loads extra, so there's plenty for like nibbles or for Simon for work or for them for college or whatever they want, really. So I'm just making some little dessert pots at the moment. So I've got some double cream. Oh, there's Simon's sausage rolls done. I'm just gonna give them a good whisk for a good few minutes till it goes nice and thick. I'm gonna pop in a little bit of vanilla extract. So I think I didn't put quite enough in. I thought it would give it a little bit more flavour than it did. So next time I do them, I'm gonna pop a little bit extra in. It's just a quick dash there, so I think at least a teaspoon will give it a little bit more of a flavour, slightly sweeter flavour without having to put any sugar in with it. There we go. Right, so that's nice and thick now. That's the consistency that I'm after. So it's kind of like a bit like an eaten mess type thing that I'm making. So we've got nice thick whipped double cream, and then I'm going to pop it in these these glass dishes. I've got some meringue nests and some defrosted summer fruit. I'm going to just start layering it up, basically. I'm not doing layers, I'm just popping it all in wherever and however. I mean, I'm not really sure what I was doing at this point. I was just kind of making it up as I went along. I didn't copy from anything. I just thought it sounded like a nice idea, really. Some whipped double cream and things like that. So then this is really good and like an easy dessert to have, because you can have the fresh frozen fruit already in the freezer to use. You can have the meringue nests already in the cupboard because they last a really long time. And then it's just the cream really you need to buy. So I'm making sure I get a bit of juice there with the fruit, because some of the fruit is a little bit sharp, but a lot of it's quite sweet as well, which is really nice. And a little bit of the juice made it even more tasty. Just sharing that between us. I think I got the right amount of fruit out here. I just kind of guessed. And then the meringue nests, so I crushed one on each. They're only little tiny ones, these ones. And they're quite sweet as well, because obviously meringue is egg but also sugar. So they give you like the sugary taste in your dessert. And then I wasn't planning on putting an extra one on, but I thought, you know what would look nice if I put one on each on the top. And Rebecca in particular absolutely loved this. Hannah really liked it. She's not sure on the cream. I think it was just a bit sour. I think she needs a little bit more sweetness in it. I did us a little pot of mixed fruit and raisins as well, something to go with our tea. Just got lots of bits and bobs today. A little bit of pudding, little pot with some nuts and raisins in it. And I actually give the girls some walnuts on top as well of theirs, so from a separate bag that I've got. And sausage rolls, because, you know, why not? This is the girls. They've got 6 little sausage rolls each. It's probably enough for them with everything else that they're having. Extremely hot, burning my fingers taking them off the tray there. And then the rest will go to cool down to pop in the fridge. That is Hannah's with her dessert and her little bowl of nuts. Some walnuts on the top. She's also got some fruit. Well, they both got fruit. Simon's taken his fruit to work with him. And I will have probably just a banana and some grapes and things. But I do the girls a little bowl of fruit each because it's nicer. I just think it's nice to have nice little picky bits. A nice bowl of lots of different fruits is just tasty. There we go. So we've got satsumas. They've got 2 each. Then I think I don't know how many grapes each. These were quite nice grapes actually. Nice flavour, nice and sweet. And just enough crunch that the girls are happy to eat them. Then I did apple. I gave Rebecca most of the apple. Did a few slices for Hannah, but it was a really big apple actually. But so it would have been a bit too much for Rebecca with all the other fruit as well. Rebecca's not keen on kiwis, but I do have a couple of kiwis left, so I thought I'd do one for Hannah because she really likes them as well. And then this is my sausage roll that I picked up in Sainsbury's. I'm not sure if it's a Sainsbury's brand one or if it's the brand that was on the top, but it was actually quite nice. The pastry was quite flaky and the taste of the sausage roll was really nice as well. So it was a bit costly at £2.50, but it was enough, really. One of these was enough for me. There we go. That's it all done. Nice and crispy. So as gluten-free sausage rolls go, that is not a bad one at all. So it's Saturday now and we're doing some chips. I'm so sick of peeling potatoes that I said, you know what, we're just going to do some skin on fries type potatoes because I don't want to peel them. So I'm just starting off with Simon's really. This isn't all for Simon. Most of this is for Simon. Some of it will be saved for when I do ours a bit later on. And Rebecca's always picked off potato skin, but she quite likes skin on fries. Now that I've had them in Five Guys as well, she's a little bit more inclined to eat them. So yeah, makes it much easier for me not having to peel potatoes. So I'm just cooking Simon's chips there. Cooking a pizza, so he'll have half of this pizza, just a Tesco's one, pepperoni one, and the girls will share the other half until I do the rest of theirs. These sharp pizza bases are brilliant. I didn't realise you get 2 in a pack, and they're individually packed, and they have got like February 2026 date on them, so they're going to last ages, and they're on offer at the moment, so I'm going to buy some extras to pop away. So I'm just going to top it with some tomato puree as close to the edge as I can because I don't really like pizza crust too much. And then just some mature cheddar grated on the top, some pizza pepperoni. I quite like symmetrical things, so I try and sort of make a little pattern on it. And I've also got some mixed peppers. I kind of ran out of time, or I'd have had onions and all sorts all over it as well. So we've got half the salmon there. And like I said, the girls will have a quarter of this one each, and then I'll do another half of one between them. And then Simon's got some homemade chips, so you just saw me cooking. This is my pizza when it's done, so what I'm going to do is eat half now, because it's easier to cook a whole one, I find, than half of one, especially when it's a pizza base and I've got to make the whole thing. So I've cut it in half, wrapped half of it in foil, and we'll eat that over lunchtime for the next couple of days or something like that. And then, yeah, so that'll give me something to have for lunch. And then I just have half of my pizza, which this was really nice actually. Next time I'm going to do a barbecue based one, I think. And those are my chips. I've got some pickled tomato ketchup to try, and also some garlic mayo. The pickled ketchup was a little bit slightly artificial tasting, but it definitely tasted like pickle, and it was really nice actually. So Rebecca for Sunday had some southern fried chicken breast bites, some crinkly fries, and some frozen peas. Me and Simon and Hannah all had jacket potatoes with some salad and some coleslaw, and some garlic mayo as well to try, just to see what it's like with the jacket potato. It was quite tasty. So that is our dinner. I'm not showing Hannah's because it's just the same really. Thank you so much everybody for watching my Meals of the Week video this week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!